Okay guys, we're going to pick up the creating icons second part now. You can see I've got the document I had previously with the three different drawings. This is the one that we're going to be using for this next part to adapt. I know I created it as a path to an object and then joined it all together, but because we're going to be doing some more detailed stuff with this, we want to go back to its raw elements. I'm just going to get rid of this in the background and I'm going to work at a higher scale. Now you'll notice as I do that the stroke size isn't scaling proportionately. So that's because I'm using a different version of Illustrator or a different machine. So please make sure that you go into your general, preferences general, make sure you scale strokes and effects. Now I'm using Creative Cloud for this one, but I'm not going to show you anything that you can't do in any other version of Illustrator. So if you've got CS5, 5.5, 6 or whatever, that'll be fine. Okay, so we've got our cup. I'm just going to get that positioned. What I'm going to do is just show you how you can do some basic colour to make it a flat icon. Simply by keeping it as its raw outlines, we can just change its colours in the swatches. So just open up a default swatch. Just going to get the print one up. Or basic CMYK you might find. Little tip for you, if you haven't got swatches that are already in there, you can just open up one of the colour books, select all of them or the ones you want and drag into there, so then when you reopen the document you don't have to go back in and reopen a colour book, and then all the swatches are there for you. Okay, so yeah, what I'm going to do is in this one just show you how you can basically colour in and then use another colour over the top, only partly to kind of indicate shade or tone, but for a flat graphic icon. So let's take this and let's make it a grey. Okay, grey mug. This will change different coloured label. Let's make it an orange. Okay. Perhaps let's just make that just a lighter grey. That's better. Okay. So that's pretty simple, pretty easy. What I want to do though is I'm envisaging some shade being cast by this. I'm also envisaging maybe a light source hitting it here, so we want a bit lighter on one side, a bit darker on the other side. And you know, I could just get a gradient. Ooh, let's turn that off. That often happens, positioning of the tool. So yeah, just going what I was saying, I could just go get a gradient, stick the gradient on and do it that way, but I don't want to do it like that. I want it to be flat. So flat means you have flat blocks of colour. I'm also going to make the handle the same colour as the mug and get rid of the outlines, and I'll explain why I'm doing that in a minute. This I'm going to keep, and these I'm going to keep, but I'm going to tweak them in a bit. The reason why I'm doing this is because for a flat icon that you're going to colour in, you don't want outlines because it just becomes too much, and you try and avoid overcomplicated things. For the handle, I want to thicken up the handle, so I'm just going to go Object, Path, Offset the path. What this does, if I just tick Preview, is it thickens up by drawing two other lines that go all the way around, because that's not a closed path, it's kind of tracing it around. I'm just going to tweak it. It's got a default setting to about there. Just click OK, and then I'm going to go to the white arrow tool, and I'm basically going to remove this outline from here. So I'm just getting rid of any of the points that I don't want with the white arrow tool. And then we select both of these together, press Command J to join, and then swap the fill around. Okay. You remember, you can always tweak and edit as you're going. Just because we set, the initial outlines up here doesn't mean to say that I can't tweak things. Anyway, let's get back to what we're trying to do. So we want the indication of shadow over here and a light source coming here. And what you need to do is remember that this background shape is going to be the key in helping cutting and removing elements that we don't want. So what I'm going to do is just go Object, Edit and Copy. Alright, we'll come back to that in a minute. Light source. So I'm just going to, very quickly and very simply, draw a box, and I'm going to make it one shade of grey lighter, and just make sure we actually do it on the fill and not the stroke. Okay, so there's our original, and there's one shade lighter. Okay, I'm then going to go Edit and Paste in front. This is the shape of our mug that we copied before. And the reason why I want to paste it in front is because I want to select these two together, go to our Pathfinder tool, and we're going to use the Pathfinder tool to intersect these two shapes, leaving just this bit here. So go to the Intersect tool. Alright, now it defaults it back to the colour of the shape that was in front, and we just change it back. Okay, and then I could change the whole of this to be that colour, and it kind of always gives you an indication of that there's shade. You could do it at a different angle. I could have drawn the box at a different angle, but if I want to add some angle to it, I'll just use the white arrow tool, select this one point, and I'm just holding Shift to just tilt it at an angle. Could do it down here and bring that to there, so you get the impression it's two-tone. Okay, to do the shade of the tea bag's little ticket, I'm going to copy the shape, I'm going to paste it in place again. So just show you the keyboard shortcuts. There's copy, Command C, and then paste it in place. Now paste it in place means that it pastes it just in place. It doesn't necessarily put it to the front or to the back, it just pastes it in place of where you want it. And I'm just going to use the Shift key and the arrow keys to offset it. And what I need to do is make sure that this shape, the original one, is in front. So I go Object, Arrange, bring that to the front. And now this, I'm going to make one shade darker. Okay, and then it's just a case of maybe tweaking it a little bit. Think about the practicalities of the light source coming in. If the light source is coming in, then the shadow isn't going to be up here, is it? It's going to have to come down this way. So just play around with it, see where you like it. You can go for an offset, a bit further. You'll notice I'm not doing anything fancy or special by using, blurred edges or anything like that. We're just keeping it flat and fairly straightforward, because that's what a flat icon does. Okay. I'm just going to select these three. Just change the colour of these if I wanted to, because I don't really think black's really appropriate, so I might just see what it looks like as a lower, darker. Make sure again you're working with the fill and not the stroke. A darker grey is what we've got, and yeah, that'll be fine. And I want to select all of these, go Object, Arrange, and send that to the back, and then just tuck it down so it looks like it's coming out from the cup. And then last but not least, because we lost our outline stroke with this one, I'm going to just drag that up so it meets that. Perhaps that's a bit too fat for what we need it to be, so let's look at reducing the point size down. And again, let's look at going for an off black, maybe not a solid outline. Okay, and you could even go to the point of adding a bit of a two-tone effect to this as well. So if I use a different method to what I did before, copy the shape, paste it in place, so Command F. Let's make it a slightly lighter, as we can see colour, and then let's just use the pen tool. If I just pull this out, and the delete anchor points. So I'm not moving its position, I'm just literally deleting some of the anchor points there so that it gives you that two-tone effect and it doesn't move anything else. The last thing I am going to do is, because if I've got shade from the ticket, I'm going to need shade from the actual string element itself. So I'm just going to drag this along to about here, and if I just use the eyedropper tool to get the same shade of grey that we had before, and there we go, we've got a nice flat icon.